Hi everyone, glad to see you again. Welcome back to my channel Cyber Defense. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of hacking protocols. We're talking about the basics here, the building blocks of how data travels on the internet. In just 10 minutes, we're going to break down the jargon and show you how these protocols actually work. We'll cover everything from TCP/IP to packet sniffing, network scanning, and even touch on social engineering. So grab your favorite energy drink, buckle up, and get ready to become a protocol pro. Let's get started. Alright, let's kick things off with the granddaddy of them all, TCP/IP. Think of TCP/IP like the internet's secret handshake, a set of rules that every device uses to talk to each other. When you send a message, it gets chopped up into little packets of data like digital envelopes. TCP is the organized postman, making sure each packet gets delivered in the right order. IP is the address on the envelope, a unique string of numbers identifying each device. Knowing the exact route your mailman takes every day could let you intercept those letters. That's what hackers try to do, exploit weaknesses in the TCP/IP protocol to reroute or intercept data. Understanding TCP/IP is just the first step to building your defenses and making sure your online activity stays yours. Now that we've got the TCP/IP basics down, let's talk about packet sniffing, the digital equivalent of eavesdropping. A packet sniffer captures all the data packets flowing through a specific network and then analyzes them. Packet sniffing tools are legal and readily available, like a stethoscope for your network. Hackers can use packet sniffers to steal sensitive information like passwords and credit card numbers. That's why it's crucial to protect your network with strong passwords and encryption. Knowing how packet sniffing works is the first step to protecting yourself. Just kidding, or am I? Anyway, the point is, knowing how packet sniffing works is the first step to protecting yourself from becoming a victim. Let's talk about network scanning, the reconnaissance mission of the hacking world. It's the process of identifying all the devices connected to a network, like taking inventory of your digital neighborhood. Think of it as knocking on every door on your street and seeing who answers. For ethical hackers and network administrators, scanning is a crucial tool for securing their own networks. It allows them to identify vulnerabilities, patch security holes, and keep the bad guys at bay. If you don't know what devices are on your network, you can't protect them. Network scanning lets you see the battlefield, identify the weak points, and fortify your defenses. Always get permission before poking around someone else's digital property. Now let's get to the heart of hacking exploiting vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities are like weak points in software or hardware that hackers can exploit to gain unauthorized access. Some are as simple as a weak password, easily guessed or brute forced. Others are more sophisticated, exploiting loopholes in code to inject malicious software. Think of the infamous Heartbleed bug, a vulnerability so severe it exposed sensitive data from millions of websites. The point is, vulnerabilities are everywhere. Developers are constantly working to patch these vulnerabilities, fixing the code, and strengthening our digital defenses. Just like a responsible homeowner secures their house with strong locks and an alarm system, let's talk about social engineering, the art of manipulating people into giving up sensitive information. It's all about exploiting human emotions, trust, fear, curiosity, even helpfulness. One of the most common tactics is phishing, where attackers send emails disguised as legitimate organizations. These emails often create a sense of urgency, prompting you to click a link or download an attachment. Then there's baiting, where attackers leave infected USB drives lying around, hoping someone will plug them in. Social engineering preys on our natural instincts. With a healthy dose of skepticism and awareness, you can spot these scams a mile away. Always double-check email addresses, be wary of unsolicited messages, and remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Let's talk passwords, the digital drawbridge to our online lives. Password cracking is the art of trying to guess or decipher those secret codes that protect our data. Brute forcing uses automated tools to try thousands or even millions of combinations per second. Dictionary attacks use lists of common passwords to try and crack accounts. The most effective password cracking techniques often involve social engineering or exploiting vulnerabilities. A strong, unique password for each of your accounts is your first line of defense against password cracking. Think long, complex, and random, or use a password manager to do the heavy lifting for you. It's like trying every key on a giant keychain until you find the one that unlocks the door. Let's talk about wireless network hacking. Wireless networks, while incredibly convenient, can also be surprisingly vulnerable to hacking. One common technique is war driving, where hackers drive around scanning for open or poorly secured Wi-Fi networks. Once they find a target, they can launch various attacks, from sniffing data packets to injecting malware. Securing your wireless network is easier than you might think. Start with a strong, unique password, preferably WPA2 or WPA3 encryption. Avoid using default router login credentials, and keep your router firmware up to date. Think of it like this. Your Wi-Fi network is like your digital home. You wouldn't leave the door wide open for anyone to walk in, would you? Let's talk about man-in-the-middle attacks, or MITM for short. Imagine you're sending a postcard, but someone intercepts it, reads it, maybe even changes the message, and then delivers it. In the digital world, hackers can use various techniques to insert themselves between two communicating parties. They can intercept data, steal login credentials, spy on your online activity, even manipulate the information you see. One common tactic is ARP spoofing, where hackers send fake network packets to confuse devices on the network. Using HTTPS websites, especially for sensitive transactions, encrypts your data, making it much harder for hackers to read or modify. Virtual private networks, or VPNs, create a secure tunnel for your internet traffic, adding an extra layer of protection. It's like changing the address on a package so it gets delivered to the wrong house. Except in this case, the wrong house is controlled by a hacker. Let's talk about cryptography, the ancient art of secret codes. Cryptography scrambles information in a way that only someone with the right key can unlock and read. One of the most common forms of cryptography is encryption, where data is transformed into an unreadable format using complex algorithms. It's like translating your message into a secret language that only someone with the decryption key can understand. From securing websites with HTTPS to protecting your online banking transactions, encryption is everywhere. Cryptography isn't just about keeping secrets. It's also about verifying identities and ensuring that the information we receive is authentic. Digital signatures use cryptographic techniques to verify the sender of a message and ensure that it hasn't been tampered with. In a world increasingly reliant on digital communication, cryptography is the unsung hero, the invisible guardian protecting our privacy and securing our digital future. Let's talk about ethical hackers, the good guys who use their powers for good. Ethical hackers, also known as white hat hackers, are hired by organizations to test their defenses and find vulnerabilities. They use the same skills as malicious hackers, but with one crucial difference: permission. Ethical hacking is a rapidly growing field, with certifications like the Certified Ethical Hacker, CEH, and Offensive Security Certified Professional, OSCP, becoming increasingly valuable. If you're fascinated by the world of hacking, but prefer to use your powers for good, ethical hacking might be the perfect path for you. It's a challenging and rewarding career that allows you to make a real difference in the fight against cybercrime. So, there you have it, a crash course in the world of hacking protocols. We've covered everything from the basics of TCP/IP to the more advanced concepts like cryptography and ethical hacking. Remember, knowledge is power, and understanding how these protocols work is the first step to protecting yourself in an increasingly digital world. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tech tutorials. Thanks for watching and learning with us. Drop a comment below if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos. We value your feedback. See you next time. Stay safe online cyber defense.